My name is Emily Thompson. I'm 35 years old, a senior attorney with a reputation for precision, strategy, and results. In courtrooms, I dismantle arguments for a living. I see patterns others miss. I win, but none of that prepared me for what was waiting at my own dinner table. My father, David Thompson, runs an auto repair shop. Years of grease, noise, and long hours have worn him down, not just physically, but emotionally. My mother, Linda Thompson, sells cars. She's sharp, polished, and always calculating. And my younger brother, Jack, he's never had to grow up spoiled, directionless, and protected no matter what he does. That night started like any other. We were sitting around the table when my father suddenly slammed a stapled document down in front of me. The sound cut through the room like a gavel. "You owe this family $150,000 in rent," he said, tapping the paper with 2 fingers. "Every cent. Or you move out." My mother lifted her glass, her tone casual, detached, and starting now, we're charging interest. 30% a month, like any proper landlord. For a moment, I didn't react. I just stared at the document, then I saw it a small time stamp at the bottom. A local print shop, meaning this wasn't impulsive. They had prepared it before I even walked through the door. This wasn't a conversation, it was a setup. I didn't argue. I didn't raise my voice. I folded the paper neatly and looked at each of them. My father looked pleased, like he'd finally found leverage over me. My mother didn't even bother pretending warmth. And Jackie was trying not to laugh. That told me everything I needed to know. I stood up and walked to my room, or what used to be my room. Most of my things were gone. The bookshelf I built in high school gone. The photo of my debate championship gone. In the hallway, the family portrait still hung, but someone had drawn a thick red X across my face. I stood there longer than I should have. Because I remembered when my father's shop nearly collapsed after a major mistake. The lawsuit, the debts, the mortgage on the brink of default. I sold my laptop, the one I needed for work. I sold my Chemist, the one I had saved 2 summers to afford. I gave the money to my mother quietly, so my father wouldn't feel humiliated. I protected this family, and now they were trying to corner me like I meant nothing. I packed my bags. When I came downstairs, my father blocked the door. "Where do you think you're going?" "Out," I said. "Until you decide whether you want a daughter or a tenant." My mother crossed her arms. "If you leave tonight, don't expect to come back like nothing happened." Nothing happened. That was almost laughable. Jack smirked. "You're overreacting. Everyone pays rent." I looked straight at him. "Then you go first. Show me your bill." He froze, said nothing, and in that moment it became crystal clear this was never about fairness. It was about me. I walked out that night. I slept in my car in a supermarket parking lot. I didn't sleep much. A week later, I used reward points I'd been saving for a vacation to stay in a hotel. I blocked my family completely. No calls, no messages, nothing but emergency access. Then I called Amelia Davis. She's one of the few people I trust, works in finance. Calm, analytical, impossible to manipulate. I told her everything. She listened without interrupting. When I finished, she said, "This isn't a family dispute. This is control. Don't talk to them about feelings. They don't operate on that level. Use evidence, use leverage." So I did. I pulled every record. I had bank transfers, receipts, messages, statements. Every time I stepped in to support them, every dollar I gave. By the time I finished, the number wasn't even close. I had given far more than $150,000. A week later, I called my father. 7 p.m. kitchen. Everyone present. He replied, "Bring your first rent payment." I smiled when I read that. That night, I walked back into the house in a tailored suit. .coms, they were already seated, waiting. .confident.I, placed a thick folder on the table, and opened it. Page by page, I laid out the truth. Every contribution, every transfer, every time I saved them. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. The numbers spoke. My father tried to interrupt. "I Kuchi-Moff, you fabricated a rent bill before I even got home." I said, "Who's manipulating who?" My mother's face went pale. Jack couldn't even look at me. Then I said, "Clearly, you want rent. Fine. But first you sign a statement. You acknowledge everything I've paid, and you admit that bill was fabricated? My father slammed the table. You're going too far. I held his gaze. Too far. After everything I've done, this is what I get. Today you take responsibility. No one spoke. Then my mother signed. My father followed. I collected the document. This is only the beginning, I said. I won't let you treat me like this again. And I walked out. For good. A few days later, Jack called me. Something's wrong. The business, the house. We might lose everything. I went back, not for them. Foreclosure. They had taken money from the business, borrowed against the house, all to fund Jack's startup. Now everything was collapsing. They looked at me like I was their last solution. Once I would have been. Not anymore. I took a breath. This is the result of your choices, I said. I'm not here to save you, but I can give you options. I placed a plan on the table. Clear, structured, realistic. Then I left, because this time I chose myself. This was never just about money, or even dignity. It was about seeing the truth clearly and refusing to be controlled by it. I didn't lose my family. I finally understood them, and in doing that, I took my life back.